Hey guys, it is Lauren. Welcome to day 13 of the Healthy, Happy, and Whole Bible study. We are almost halfway through with this study, and I'm thank you guys for sharing on Facebook or reaching out to Courtney and I about how the Lord is moving or has moved in your life so far. And I just have to tell you, it is beautiful out, so I am just outside. I am wearing my sunglasses because my eyes are sensitive, but we're just gonna roll with it. And usually it's pretty quiet in my neighborhood. But yeah, they're like sawing something next door, so hopefully you guys will be able to hear me well. So I always like to, like when I share, I pray that I don't share anything that I haven't gone through or that the Lord is currently putting me through. And I feel like that's just how it is. Like, I can't speak on something that I haven't been through. And well, I could, but like, it wouldn't be it wouldn't be from the heart. So, and today I'm going to talk about time management and scheduling and what the Bible says about Christ followers and our time. And this is like a relatively new thing for me. I have to be honest, like when I taught, it was pretty simple. Just like my day in general, I'd wake up, get ready, go to the school, be at the school for the set amount of hours, come home, eat, work out, eat, sleep, basically. There's a lot of time management within the classroom, like scheduling and planning things, all that kind of stuff. But now, as I am a full-time business owner, it looks a little different. And so it honestly is one area that I have been struggling. And so at church on Sunday, our pastor just had like a strong word from the Lord, and just felt the Spirit leading her to pray over those who were weary. And I don't know about you guys, but this season of life has been so weary. I found myself turning to things that I wouldn't normally turn to when I'm stressed, like food, sleep, things like that normally are not my go-to. And there are times when I've been able to worship my way through those moments of, stress and feeling weary and run down. And then there are other times where I'm not great at it, and I pray to be better at it, and pray to be better at worshiping my way through my battles. And that's really hard to do. And I wish that it came easier for me. And oftentimes, like in my life, I get like tension headaches when I'm stressed, or when I struggle with like wanting things to be perfect. And when I don't feel like they are, I stress, or when I feel like I stress, or when I feel like I'm not making people happy or meeting their needs, I stress. When I'm working from home or at the business and I don't get all the dishes, all the laundry, all the sweeping, all the things done, and then hear people say, well, you work from home, you should get those things done. Like, those things stress me out. And I just want to know, what does the Bible have to say about time management as a Christ follower, and stewarding our time well? And so I dove into some Bible verses about time management. And so the first thing I want to reference too is, when we think about life, we are literally, it's just a mist, a vapor. Like, we're here today and gone the next day. And this is like, if you think of like a line that just keeps going and going and going, and like there's one dot at the front of the line, like one person at the front of the line, but then the line keeps going and going and going. If you think about it in this way, the dot at the very beginning of the line is our life on earth, and the rest of it that keeps going and going is our life in eternity. And So many times with our schedules, we live for the here and now, the life now. And really, as Christ followers, where our effort should lie is what we're doing to change, to prepare ourselves for eternity and to prepare others for eternity. Because there are only two places, heaven or hell. And people that we love are going to go to hell if we don't act and help them understand the saving power of Jesus. And if we don't spend time praying or being in the Word, it could affect someone's eternity. And how often do we do all of the things? Like, we take the kids to soccer, then gymnastics, then we have play dates with our friends, and we go out to eat after church on Sunday, and then we we work, and then we work out, and then we run a side business, and then we make a schedule with all these 50 different people, and we go to the grocery store and we go shopping. But like, we haven't actually spent time in the Word, or actually spent time praying. And as Christ followers, we are to live a life of excellence, living a life in pursuit after God, not pursuit of things of the flesh. And a lot of those things that I just mentioned that we fill our time with are so good. But a lot of people, like, we are to put God first, and then our spouse, and then our kids, and all the other things. God first. And a lot of people are like, yeah, I put God first. But when we really look at our schedules, we don't. And so what we spend the most amount of time on is our priority. Like, taking your kids to soccer is not going to, it's not pleasing to God if you're not putting Him first. And a lot of times, like I said, these really good things that we fill our schedule with come in between the Lord and ourselves, because at the end of the day, we're so run ragged. We've run from here to there and everywhere. And we're running from an empty cup. And so there's a scripture that I want to read. Ephesians 5:15-17. Look carefully then how you walk, not as unwise but wise, making the best use of the time, because the days are evil. Therefore do not be foolish, but understand what the will of the Lord is. And then there's a second verse that I wanted to read. James 4:13-17. I'm going to read from the English Standard Version. Come now, you who say, today or tomorrow we will go into such and such a town and spend a year there and trade and make a profit. Yet you do not know what tomorrow will bring. What is your life? For you are a mist that appears for a little time and then vanishes. Instead, you ought to say, if the Lord wills, we will live to do this or that. As it is, you boast in your arrogance. All such boasting is evil. So whoever knows the right thing to do and fails to do it, for him it is a sin. And so the Bible is very clear that how we spend our time is important. But we don't do things to satisfy the flesh, but we do things for an eternal purpose. The Great Commission in Matthew 28:19-20 says to go and make disciples of all nations. And that is the great command, that we are to love others and to make disciples so that they can have an eternity with Jesus and experience His saving power. But all too much, we are busying our lives, sometimes filling the void in our lives that actually what we're missing is the Lord. And sometimes we busy our schedules to avoid conflict or avoid problems. Maybe it's with a spouse. Maybe it's with your family. You don't want to spend much time with them, so you busy yourself doing other things. And maybe you have a hard time witnessing because you're so busy that you're too exhausted to spend any time in the Word. And so you're not filling your spiritual cup. So I think if we all challenged ourselves to write down, like if we did an hourly inventory of our day, a journal even, and wrote down what we do each hour, how much of that time could we say that we're spending with the Lord? And, I do think it's important to go out and to disciple at your kids' soccer games, or, you can be a witness. You can go out and tell of the good news of Jesus while you're at all of these events. But when you think about what is your highest priority, these are the things that should receive most of your attention, and they should be what receives your attention first. So if you're telling me that you're a Christ follower, or you're saying that you're a Christ follower, but you don't manage your time well, then that doesn't really align with being a Christ follower, because he calls us to steward our time well. And those things that we're saying are a priority that we never get to aren't really a priority at all. And as Christians, we have to understand, like, this isn't a trial run. This is literally all that we have. And has not only is being a good steward of our time, like evaluating our priorities, making sure that we serve the Lord first, and then our spouse, and then our children, and making sure those things fall in line. We need to do that, but then when we do add things to our schedule, we need to make sure that we're stewarding our time well there, like being on time, not constantly running late. Those things don't reflect the characteristic of a Christ follower. I believe, are called to live a life of excellence. But if we're running late, we're saying yes to everything. Sometimes I don't think that reflects a Christ follower in some ways. If it's clouding and getting in the way of our relationship with the Lord, I don't think that reflects our character well. Like I said, it doesn't mean that your schedule has to be completely empty, but don't be afraid to say no. No, I have a Bible study. No, my kids have to go to church. No, my husband and I, no, we can't go to this family gathering. My husband and I haven't had a date. This isn't practice run. This is all we have, and people are watching the things that we do. So I just want to go over some tips about what we can do to manage our time. So one thing that sometimes helps is getting up early in the morning. Maybe if you have kiddos, before they get up, getting in the Word, praying. Maybe you're in the shower in the morning, using that time wisely. Maybe instead of picking up your phone, you get out your actual Bible. And I know I can't read my Bible on my phone because it is it's way too tempting for me to get on and look at other things. So maybe getting out your actual Bible and digging into the Word then. Another way that we can be stewards of our time, think about the gift that God gave you, and are you using that gift? When you know the areas that God has called you to, you kind of stop wasting your time. Like I said, we're here today and gone tomorrow. We're a vapor. And I feel like the time that we're given here on earth, we need to use the gift that God gave us in some way. And so, consider that. Another thing you can do is just plan. Maybe you have a family calendar, maybe you have a personal calendar. Something that worked really well for my husband and I when we first got married was a Google Calendar, and we shared it with each other. And if it was on the calendar, we didn't do it. And time management was really, really hard for us when we first got married. And recently, with my transition into being a full-time business owner, I really struggled. I had a calendar and I would write things in it, and if it was in the calendar, it happened. If it wasn't in the calendar, it didn't happen. But then I had to even go as far as writing in my hours, like 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., and blocking time. So do what works best for you. There's a lot of free calendars online that you can just print off, even like a piece of paper and a pencil, and just blocking out your day, and scheduling and penciling in rest, penciling in, you know, maybe it's from 8 to 9 that you spend dedicated with just your spouse. But then you'll be able to really see what your priorities are when you block out your time and you make a list of what you're going to be doing. One thing I think is super, super powerful is learning how to say no. And that could be unhealthy people, unhealthy distractions, like social media. Sometimes it may just involve deleting it. Sometimes it may just be telling your family, like, I need a down day. I can't run and start my week pouring from an empty cup. And God has given us the gift of His Spirit to be discerning. And so sometimes we just know that we need to say no. And saying no can be super powerful. And if other people are upset about that, then that is on them, but not on you. You know, and sometimes we just need to remove things. Sometimes we need to remove people. Sometimes we need to remove jobs. The mailman must be here. Sorry, she's barking. Sometimes we just need to remove things in our life. Sometimes they may be good things. Like maybe your kid's involved in too many sports and you tell your kids, you know, like for the health of our family, we can only be involved in one sport, a child, you know, something like that. Like sometimes it's saying no to good things. And just to kind of polish this up and wrap it all up, like we talked about that verse in James, like we're here today and we're gone tomorrow, and what we do for eternity matters. This isn't a trial run. This is the real deal. We can't waste our time. We have so much to accomplish as Christ followers. And so I want to polish it off with this final verse. 2 Corinthians 4:18. As we look not to the things that are seen, but to the things that are unseen. For the things that are seen are transient. Basically, they're here today and gone tomorrow. But the things that are seen are transient. They're here today and gone tomorrow. But the things of the unseen are eternal. And so while there's a lot of times things that are seen can be distracting, we need to make sure that what we're doing is making a difference for all eternity. So getting your time in with the Lord, praying, you know, use your time wisely, block out your time, eliminate some of those distractions, because this isn't a test run. We don't get a redo. This is all that we have, the time that we have, and we don't know if we will have it tomorrow. We don't know if we'll have it this evening. And so take the time that the Lord has blessed us with and bless others, and fill ourselves with Him so that we can be a bigger blessing to others. I know this is something that I am really working on. I'm speaking from the heart. And anytime I can put a biblical lens on it and know that these scriptures support how I'm feeling, and I allow the scriptures to convict me and allow the scriptures to teach me, I'm in a much better place. And so now I can see what the Bible says about scheduling and time management. And so now it's up to me to pray for discernment, to pray for wisdom, to get my schedule in order to honor the Lord. So that's all I have for you guys today. I hope that you enjoy this beautiful weather. Bye.